So, hello. I'm now on camera. For those listening on the audio experience, thank you for joining me as well. Anyone watching on the replay on YouTube, you are watching this, but it's kind of a bit of a, this is going to be a time-sensitive broadcast, I guess, because what I'm going to be talking about tonight is actually only going to be available for 6 days from today. And for those who are regular viewers of these live broadcasts, or you might have listened to some of my podcasts on iTunes, or you might have visited atsonthis.tv, or you're part of the Facebook group, you'll know for the last couple of weeks I've been banging on about a mentor of mine who I was introduced to back in 2013, a guy called Michael Hyatt, who is probably one of, if not the leading authority on the planet on goal setting and productivity. The guy is absolute legend. I found out about him in 2013 completely by accident. Back in 2013, I was kind of doing all right, had achieved quite a lot in my acting career and voiceover career and stuff, but was like desperate for more and didn't really know how to go about goal setting, basically proper strategical goal setting that was like not me just making a New Year's resolution and then the next year going, oh wait a minute, I forgot I made that New Year's resolution last year, did I hit it? And then going, oh no I didn't, and then going, right, okay, well why was that? Because I wasn't really setting goals like properly. And most people literally do this on New Year's Eve. They will make a resolution, and they're normally bullshit resolutions as well, like I'm going to lose weight next year, I'm going to earn more money next year. I mean, they're so general, ridiculous targets. I mean, what is losing weight next year? Well, what if you lose a pound? Have you done it? Or what is making more money next year? If you, find 10 pounds on the floor, is that you made more money next year? What really do you want from life? And someone said, listen, mate, you want to have a look at this program that this guy's doing. It's called Michael Hyatt. Does a program called 5 Days to Your Best Year Ever. And this program absolutely, categorically, hands down, no bullshit, changed my entire life. What I wanted to do for such a long time back then was, I'd done a load of voiceover, as you all know, I work a lot in voiceover. And I wanted to create some voiceover workshops and a company that trained people, other actors in voiceover, because I used to get that asked of me all the time. I'd pondered it for like 3 years, didn't really know how to go about goal setting it or actually doing it. This program effectively laid a structure out for me. I did it in 28 days, and I'm not saying this to go, oh, look, money isn't everything at all, but, just in terms of what that added to my life financially, it was £60,000 extra per year through doing that company that I just never would have done had I not learned how to goal set. So it had a massive effect on my life, and I was like, right, I'm going to do this every single year. This program comes out every year, but I'm actually going to redo the program every single year. Michael makes it a bit better every year, and I've bought it every single year since, including when I bought it again last night. So what I want to do is show you guys literally behind the scenes of the program, and I've asked permission for this, but Michael's not got back to me yet, to show you a couple of the lessons from within the program. It's a 5-hour program of video, but I'm going to show you like 15 minutes of the video tonight. I think they'll be all right with that. Michael's, a mate of mine. I'm sure he'll be fine. And I'm obviously, trying to push people into doing his course, purely because I know the impact that it can cause. So what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to just basically share my browser with you, and you should be able to see. This is me logged into the program, the full course, behind the scenes of 5 Days to Your Best Year Ever. And you'll see here how the course is laid out. It's literally an intro video that I'm going to play you guys in a minute. That's only like 5 minutes long. It's a little bit cheesy. Michael's a bit like me. He's a bit smiley and a bit cheesy, right? But the stuff that he talks about and the stuff that he does is super, super legit. So you'll see this is like literally a congratulatory message to go, listen, well done for taking this program, starting taking action on your life. Start by completing these 3 steps. There's access to the workbooks, there's access to the welcome video, and you can also, if you get one of the VIP versions of the course and you're a VIP member, you get access to a community, which is a private Facebook group that you get access to for actually a year, and Michael holds regular trainings within that community during the entire year. So if you get the VIP version of the course, you actually get some training alongside the main course as well, which is what I've gone for this time and have done since year 2. Actually, I didn't do it year 1. Year 2 I did. Lucy's here. Good evening, Lucy. So what I want to do is, I'll show you around the structure of it, and then I'm going to actually play you the intro video. I'll come back on for a minute. I'm going to play you 15 minutes of lesson 1 so you can see what it's about and whether you think it's for you. And then obviously I'm going to give you the address that you've already seen on my screen for where you can actually go and get involved with this. Fanny said she's actually doing a webinar with Michael tonight. So Michael's doing webinars later on. He's doing it at 10, isn't he? then you could probably still have time to go and register for that, and he will show you even more and give you even more training. But the program basically is broken into 5 lessons. Lesson 1, believe the possibility. Lesson 2, complete the past. Lesson 3, design your future. Lesson 4, find your way. And lesson 5, make it happen. And when you click into each of these lessons, you will see, yeah, Fanny says 10 p.m. So it's 10 p.m. and Karen's got one at 10 a.m. tomorrow. So Michael does webinars all week. And you'll see inside the course here, you've got the video at the top. And then again, you've got what you're going to find out, like broken down into this section here. And then on the right, you've got your resources. So we've got the audio download as well. If you just want to listen to the audio and take it on your phone when you're out and about. You've got the transcript if you just want to read it, and actually just learn through reading. If you've got no internet access, you can be in a train or whatever. And then you've got the worksheets as well. If I go back to the start, you've got a main workbook that I can show you now if I click to download this. This is the main workbook, and it's how many pages is it? It's a lot. I don't know if I've got a page number thing on here, but there's loads. You can see it's super. The way that it's laid out, super quality. Plenty of space to write your answers and stuff down, and it literally holds your hand through your goal setting. Here's something that's interesting: the cynicism spiral. So cynicism, the self-protective behavior that all of us use to keep from getting hurt or disappointed. If you go into anything in your life, this is what I have learned since doing this more than anything else, with cynicism, whether that's your acting career, whether that's your relationships, any family stuff, your physicality, working out at the gym, if you are cynical of anything that is going to make your life better, you basically will sabotage anything that you could get out of it. It says there, prior to beginning this course, you might have experienced one or more of the emotions above. Things like sadness, anger, frustration, disappointment. That's okay. I want to help you transform your previous ways of thinking so you can have your best year ever. Cynicism will sabotage your results if you use it in this course. And that applies to everything that I teach as well. Like they say, a cynic is a bruised romantic, says Fanny. So the workbook is like super in depth. It's really, really super high quality, full color, and hold your hand through the entire goal setting process for the 5 days that you would be doing this program. The idea is you do it over 5 days, hence 5 days to your best year ever. Let me get back to, if I have to click back on the browser, or where are we? Here we are. So you get different worksheets as well. That's the workbook, but then within each lesson on the right hand side, you actually get some other worksheets as well, and you'll see your grade and your progress here as you go through. I've not done any of this year's program. This will fill up as a percentage until you obviously hit 100%. You get a little certificate as well. So I'm going to play you this video now of Michael, and this is the intro video. Like I say, he's very cheesy at the start of this, but very like a minute in, there's an incredible story in this. Please listen to this. And you can apply it to maybe what's happened to you in your life and your career this year. Please listen to this, though. It's only a 5-minute video, and I'll be back, and I'm going to show you then 15 minutes of the full lesson 1. But here's the intro.
Hello and welcome to 5 Days to Your Best Year Ever. I am incredibly proud of you for taking this first step towards transforming your life. And over the next 5 lessons, you're going to learn how to make several small changes that'll produce lasting results in your life. And if you'll commit right now to giving everything you've got to this process, I promise you'll see a huge difference. This next year can truly become your best year ever. And if you're not convinced that's possible for you, let me introduce you to Heather Kamp. Kamp is a highly decorated runner with an impressive string of accomplishments, including 3 USA championships for the road mile. But what's most impressive is what happened in the 600-meter final at the 2008 Big Ten Indoor Track Championship. As the third and final lap approached, Kamp was in second place and ready to take first when she suddenly tripped and fell flat on her face. When it comes to achieving our goals, I know a lot of us feel like that. We start out well, but sometimes stumble and fall behind. And when that happens, we can get discouraged. Doubts well up, and we lose our confidence. Well, not Heather Kamp. After Kamp hit the ground, she didn't stay down. She leapt up as fast as she fell down and began closing the distance. And to the amazement of everyone watching, she passed one runner, then another, and finally her own teammate to take first place. I want to assure you that kind of rebound is possible for you too.
Unbelievable. That is amazing.
I want you to consider what a truly breakthrough year might look like for you. Imagine it's 12 months from right now, and you've accomplished all your top goals in all of life's domains. Think about your health. How does it feel to be in the best shape of your life? How does it feel to have the stamina to play for hours with your kids, pursue your favorite hobbies, and have energy to spare? Are you married? What's it like to have deepened and enriched your most significant relationship, one where you can't wait to spend time together? Imagine your life full of intimacy, joy, and friendship with someone who shares your most important priorities, your most significant goals, and gives the encouragement and the support you've dreamt about for so long. Or consider your finances. How does it feel to be debt-free, to have money left over at the end of the month? Imagine having the resources you need to meet your expenses, protect yourself against the unexpected, and invest for the future. Think how reassuring it is to have deep savings and how satisfying it is to provide your family the life they deserve and desire. Reflect for a moment on your spiritual life. Imagine you have an abiding sense of something transcendent, a connection to a larger purpose and a bigger story. Imagine waking up grateful and going to bed satisfied. How does it feel to face life's ups and downs with peace in the deepest part of your soul? Whatever has happened in your past, good or bad, it's truly possible to make this your best year ever, even in those areas where you've suffered serious setbacks. 5 Days to Your Best Year Ever will show you how. The program is based on 5 key assumptions. First, life is multifaceted. Our lives are more than our work. They're even more than our families. The way I see it, our lives consist of 10 interrelated domains: spiritual, intellectual, emotional, physical, marital, parental, social, vocational, avocational, and financial. My second assumption is that every domain matters. Why? Because each one affects all the others. For example, your physical condition impacts your work, and stress at work definitely impacts life at home. And all this interplay means you've got to give each domain the appropriate amount of attention if you want to experience the transformation you desire. Third, progress starts only when you get clear on where you are right now. Now, maybe you have a vague sense that things are off track in your career, but you haven't yet come to grips with the truth of your situation. Or maybe you sense your marriage has become dead or routine, but you haven't had the courage to just admit that you're stuck. Fourth, you can improve any life domain. No matter what's going on in the world or how off track and frustrated you may feel, you don't have to settle for what is. Progress and significant personal growth are truly possible. And that takes me to the 5th and final assumption. Confidence, happiness, life satisfaction, these are all byproducts of personal growth. Now, I created a quick and easy online quiz called the Life Score Assessment to help you get a sense of where you are right now. And if you haven't already taken it, I want to encourage you to do so now. You can find a link in the resources section in the right. I designed the Life Score Assessment to help you quickly spot areas of improvement and measure your personal growth over time. The whole process takes just 10 minutes. And best of all, it'll give you the insight you need to begin your best year ever. Now, let me give you an overview of where we're going. In Lesson 1, I'm going to teach you 3 truths about your beliefs that'll help you overcome your doubts. This step will help you shed limiting beliefs and imagine what a breakthrough year might mean for your life. In Lesson 2, I'll show you how to get closure on your past and step more confidently into your future. I'll give you a 4-step system to analyze the past for what worked and what didn't, so you can move forward and design the year to come. In Lesson 3, I'll introduce a 7-part framework for setting well-designed goals that really work and enable you to cast your vision for the months ahead. This proven framework will give you a portfolio of meaningful, effective goals that you can tackle right away. In Lesson 4, I'm going to introduce you to the most powerful motivator I know, your why. Once you nail this piece, you'll be unstoppable. And in Lesson 5, I'll put all the pieces together and empower you to take action with 3 tactics designed to help you accomplish the goals you've set. As you prepare to begin this course, you may be wondering the best way to consume the content. And you really have 2 choices. The video and the exercise for each lesson take about an hour to complete. So you can either do 1 step each day within a 5-day period, hence the name of the course, or you can block off a day and go through the entire course all at once. Whatever you choose, I want you to commit to going all in. Commit to watching all the videos and completing each exercise. Use the worksheets specific to each lesson, and I recommend downloading them now, printing them before you start. Then you can collect them in a notebook and refer to them throughout the year. And this is important. Don't skip steps. Follow this process, give it all you've got, and be empowered and equipped to achieve your best year ever. Now let's get started.
So there you go. That was literally the intro to the program. So you've seen there the 5 modules that Michael takes you through. He says you can, 2 ways to do it. You can literally, if you want, you could do 5 hours in a day if you wanted and go through everything. Some people like to immerse themselves in that, like that. Or what I do is I do it over 5 days. So I do like an hour or so a day, let it sink in, and then, reconnect the next day. Over 5 days, you really get an opportunity to give it everything. You don't get fatigued. It's exciting. You look forward to doing it and plan your year that way. And what I'm going to do, like I say, I'm going to play you 15 minutes, the first 15 minutes of lesson 1. It's going to get you thinking of some things you want to achieve next year, and ultimately, you know what, just believe that it's possible to do that. I heard from a friend yesterday, this is incredible. Remember, I've been telling you about this girl who decided she was going to create a short film a year ago and try and raise some money for it so she could have it funded. Wanted to raise 10 grand. Everyone around her was like, no, you can't do it. It's not work for us. It's pointless. You need to do it, find a better way. She did it anyway. Basically ended up not listening to anybody and making £13,500. Funded the film, made a fantastic film. She just found out yesterday, this is literally like blown my mind in terms of believing in your potential. This is insane. She found out yesterday that film, through winning other film festivals earlier in the year, qualified for Oscar consideration at the Academy Awards next year. Literally the highest awards in the world, the Oscars. She's on the list of it's been whittled down from 135 now to 10. She's on the list of the top 10 films. 5 of those films actually go through to get an Oscar nomination. And I think she's going to do it because the film's bloody brilliant. That is believing in the possibility. She did this course, because I gave her access to this program, did this course last year and was the catalyst for writing that film and basically setting those lofty goals. And now she's effectively 50% chance now of being nominated for an Oscar later. It finds out on January the 23rd. Because she got clear on what she wanted, set the goals out, believed in the possibility. This shit seriously works. People, are cynical of it, but it just works. So what I want to do now is play you the first 15 minutes of this. I'm going to play you up to the point where Michael starts giving some of his proprietary kind of content away. I'm not obviously prepared to just give that out on this. That's what he charges for. I've paid, $400 for this as well. But I will play up to the point, to show you what it's about. And it's at least going to get you thinking of your goals. If you do want to get involved with this program as well, guys, I've got the address up on the screen, act.network/by2018. That stands for best year ever, 2018. I'll also give an address away at the end. Karen did it last year, awesome, through the Bulletproof Actor program that I run as well. Dawn's here as well. Good evening, Dawn. I will give at the end as well the address to go and register for Michael's webinar tonight. It's going to start in 40 minutes time, so we'll make sure we've finished at least 10-15 minutes before that. So you have a chance to go over and actually get a bit more free coaching from Michael. But let's play 15 minutes of this then. If you've got any questions, whack them up on the screen. I can't talk to you, obviously, whilst this video is on, but I can type in. So if you've got any questions, I can still type into the box, and I can put some text up there as well. For those listening on the audio experience as well, another reminder, this program is only available until the 19th of December. It's the 13th today as we record this. So you've got 6 days, basically, including today. So here's lesson 1. Check it out. Let me know your thoughts. There's some pretty good stuff in this.
Welcome to Lesson 1, Believe the Possibility. In this lesson, I want us to consider what a truly breakthrough year might look like for you. And I want you to consider how your beliefs shape your thinking. And I want you to commit to upgrading those beliefs. You know, learning to identify and shed limiting beliefs is vital to achieving your best year ever. So before we get started, let me suggest that you download and print the worksheet in the resources menu to the right. It's a great way to follow along, take notes, and engage with the course content. And there's also an action plan at the end to help you effectively apply what you learned today. Let me start by telling you about my dog, an English setter gelding I used to have named Nelson. He was gentle, patient, great with the grandkids, but he had one fault. Whenever the front door would open, he would bolt like a prison escapee. I can't even begin to say how scary that was watching him narrowly escape oncoming traffic. But we needed a solution, and thankfully we discovered invisible fence. And it works by pairing an underground perimeter wire to an electronic collar. As Nelson approached the boundary, the collar delivered a warning vibration to stop. And with some additional training, he quickly learned where the line was and he avoided it. But here's where it gets interesting. After a while, the collar was no longer necessary. Nelson had internalized a warning. If we stood on the other side of the barrier and called or enticed him with a treat, he wouldn't budge. The barrier was now inside Nelson's head. And I think that's true for a lot of us. The biggest barriers that you and I face in creating the life we want are the ones inside our heads. And when it comes to creating your best year ever, it's important to recognize 3 truths about our beliefs. The first truth is this: your beliefs shape your reality. Now, here's what I mean. We tend to experience what we expect because our expectations shape what we believe is possible. They shape our perceptions and our actions, and that means they also shape the outcomes, and that means they shape our reality. One of the biggest reasons we don't succeed with our goals is we doubt we can. We believe our goals are out of reach. Well, polls show that the percentage of people in their 20s who achieve their New Year's resolutions is far greater than those over 50. In fact, according to a Harris poll, while 8 in 10 millennials set resolutions, almost 7 in 10 adults over 65 say resolutions are a waste of time. Why? It's sad, but the greater number of setbacks we've experienced in life, the less likely we are to believe that we can prevail. Now, we've all been there, right? Disappointment turns to frustration, to anger, to sadness, to depression, and finally twists itself into cynicism. And really all that is a self-defense mechanism. I mean, it's hard to get your hopes dashed if you never get them up to begin with. But that kind of cynicism poisons our souls and sabotages our results. And our beliefs about what's possible have a direct impact on the reality we experience. So the question becomes, what kind of adjustments could you make to your thinking to change your sense of what's possible? Now, I know that sounds simple, but changing your thinking is like flipping a switch. It creates a new sense of possibility. There's a popular story about a shoemaker who sent 2 salesmen to Africa to size up the market. The first one reported back, "No one here wears shoes, there's no market." But the second one said, "No one here wears shoes, huge opportunity, send inventory." Now look, the facts are the facts, but we can look at them in different ways. Now I'm about 99.9% sure that story's made up, but there's a real version of the tale that demonstrates the same point. In 1999, Nick Swinmurn thought he could sell shoes online, but investors thought it would never fly. Too many logistical and customer service challenges, and the opportunity seemed minuscule. At the time, the nearest comparison was mail-order shoe sales, which was a measly 5% of the market. Well, not surprisingly, most investors wouldn't return his calls. But Tony Hsieh heard something in Nick's pitch that made his ears perk up. The mail-order business, true, was only 5% of the market, but get this, the market was $40 billion. In other words, if catalog sales were already $2 billion, the logistical and customer service challenges must not be that big a deal. The market was potentially massive. So Tony invested, and Zappos was born. When he finally sold to Amazon a decade later, the company was worth $1.2 billion. Nick gave the same pitch to everyone, but Tony looked at the facts with a different sense of what was possible. History's full of stories where a change in thinking resulted in a radical change in outcome. I mean, running a 4-minute mile, beating a sound barrier, even human-powered flight. They all seemed unattainable, that is, right up until people who were convinced they were possible proved it to the rest of us. As the jazz pianist Thelonious Monk said, whatever you think can't be done, somebody will come along and do it. And the first key difference between an unmet goal and personal success is the belief that it can be achieved. Anything else is what futurist and inventor Arthur C. Clarke called a failure of imagination. Now that takes us to a second truth. Some beliefs hold you back. I once had a client, I'll call him Charlie, that's not his real name, but I've changed his identity to protect the guilty. Charlie derived his significance from feeling wronged, put upon, even persecuted. And he griped about everything. I mean, everyone else was an idiot but him, and nobody could do anything right. If we went to lunch, he never picked up the check, even if he called the meeting. I always left his presence feeling drained and diminished. Well, Charlie exemplifies what I want to call scarcity thinking. Now, compare Charlie with another friend of mine. Robert is one of the most generous people I know. He always greets me with a big smile, a hug, and with an encouraging word. And I always leave his presence energized, feeling great about being me. And he's like that with everyone. He treats employees, vendors, booking agents, publishers, everyone else as if they were his best customers. And he routinely invests in their success. And it comes back to him in 1,000 ways. Well, Robert exemplifies what I call abundance thinking. Now, the distinction is important. Why? Because every goal you're going to set is going to have some obstacles with it. Scarcity thinkers like Charlie approach problems assuming defeat. They think their abilities are set in stone and they really can't improve much. Well, compare those with abundant thinkers like Robert. When they hit an obstacle, they don't quit. They just look for new approaches to the problem. They're confident they can figure it out if they just work harder or come at it from a different angle. So what's your mindset, and how do you know if you're falling into the trap of limiting beliefs? In his book, Making Habits, Breaking Habits, Jeremy Dean mentions 3 dead giveaways. Number 1, black and white thinking. That's when we assume we failed if we don't achieve perfection. Reality is usually a sliding scale, not a toggle switch. Number 2, personalizing. That's when we blame ourselves for random negative occurrences. And number 3, catastrophizing. That's when we assume the worst, even with little evidence. And to that list, we can add a 4th, universalizing. That's when we take a bad experience and assume it's true across the board. If we're attentive, it's easy to spot 3 kinds of limiting beliefs in our own thinking. Start with assumptions that we hold about the world. For example, I can't start a new business right now, the market is terrible. Or I don't trust management, they're always trying to cheat us. Or those politicians are going to deep six the economy and make it impossible for me to get ahead. Now, these beliefs can be very deep-seated. They might even be based on experience, but they're rarely the whole truth, even when they seem accurate. We also have limiting beliefs about others. It's no use asking, you might say. He's too busy to meet with me. Or, hey, she's just a bean counter. What can she possibly know? Or, he hasn't responded yet. I guess he must be upset with me. It really hits home with the 3rd type of limiting belief. I'm talking about beliefs about ourselves. We might say, for example, I'm a quitter. I never finish what I start. Or, I can't help it. I've never been physically fit. Or, I've always been terrible with money. Well, beliefs like these are going to block any progress you want to make in life. And where do these limiting beliefs come from? Some, as I've already said, come from previous failures. Repeated setbacks can train us to assume the worst. They condition us, in a way, to hoard what we have and avoid risks. But if we're observant, we can spot other influences. Take the news media. Michael Hyatt warns, an overabundance of news can make you depressed, anxious, and for the most part, doesn't usually provide you with the ability to actually change or influence anything being reported. I mean, right? And he's a professional journalist. We have to be careful with social media as well. Not only does it mirror the same negativity bias, but can also trick us with positivity. Check Facebook, and it can seem like everyone's leading a charmed life, right? Happy kids, beautiful friends, gorgeous vacations, fulfilling work, and we're instantly, usually subconsciously, aware that we're not measuring up. We're not as smart, we're not as creative or educated or successful, lucky, athletic, or artistic as everyone else on Instagram. Now, I'm a huge advocate of social media, but it's no wonder that research confirms what most of us have already felt. Time spent on Facebook can lead to feeling crummy about our lives. Well, another potent source for limiting beliefs is our family and peers. Parents, siblings, friends, coworkers, neighbors, our church community, professional networks, they all play a part. As psychologist Henry Cloud says, how well you do in life and business depends not only on what you do and how well you do it, but also on who is doing it with you or to you. Hang around people like Charlie, and you can start seeing the world from his perspective. And the reverse is also true. Surround yourself with people like Robert, and everything starts looking up. Our beliefs create the lens through which we see the world. And as you begin to think about designing your best year ever, you need to recognize that most of the barriers that you face are imaginary. The good news is that you can change your lens. And that leads us to the third truth. You can upgrade your beliefs. Now, let me start by giving you some examples from my own life. I used to believe that I couldn't get ahead because I barely made enough money to meet our family's needs. And when I recognized that thought as a limiting belief, I determined to replace it with a liberating truth. So I started saying, I have all the money I need to meet our obligations, accomplish our goals, and be generous with others. Now, honestly, it didn't feel that way at first. But instead of operating from scarcity, I chose to operate from a place of abundance. It wasn't magic, but it did open me up to new possibilities that allowed me to move forward. And the more I moved, the more resources I found to improve my circumstances. Here's another limiting belief I once had. I don't feel like doing that right now. I'm too exhausted. I thought my energy was something I didn't have any control over. I mean, either I felt energetic or I didn't. But then I realized, I have agency. I could influence what I experienced. So I swapped that limiting belief for a liberating truth that went like this. I have more than enough energy to accomplish the tasks I undertake. Now I know that's simple, but I repeated that to myself every time I felt exhausted or tired. And it wasn't long before my reality caught up to my words. Now, we've all got limiting beliefs like this, right? Well, I'd like to suggest a simple 6-step process to help you upgrade those beliefs. First, recognize the limiting belief. Go back to our...
And I'm not going to give Michael's whole process away for eliminating limiting beliefs because it's a proprietary thing that only he coaches. It's not out there publicly in the public domain. And like I say, this is a paid-for program that I've paid for, and I'm sure he won't want me just giving it away to everybody. So that's the first 15 minutes of a 5-day course, effectively, if you do that over 5 days. But you can see he is a bit cheesy, Michael. Anyway, I love the guy. He's so good. He's very, very good at creating vision in people, inspiring people, and just breaking quite complex things down into really simple to understand processes with these workbooks that you get in the program as well, you know, with the audio, the transcripts, the bonuses as well. I'll show you some bonuses in a minute that he's giving away if people get on the program this year. This program is only available once a year, 5 days to your best year ever. Like I say, those who are on live right now will see down here the link you can go to if you want to find out more and register. But I'm just super, super passionate about it. I don't want to seem like this is the dead cheesy kind of sales pitch, but I just thought before, if I'm not trying to get people into this, I'm just doing you all a massive disservice, because this is something, like I said, that I've done for 5 years, and every single year has a massive, massive impact on my life. Those on the audio experience, the address is act.network/BYE2018. act.network/BYE, stands for Best Year Ever 2018. That's 2018. Let me show you back inside the program, guys. Where is it? What am I clicking on now? That. Here's actually the sales page, by the way. So what you'll see when you go there, if you go to that address, you can see at the moment of recording this is 5 days, 10 hours, and 21 minutes left to register. But you can click on this little button here. You'll see a video will pop up that will play a bit more about the program. And if you scroll down, it literally just tells you everything about it, what you get. And there's 3 different versions of it. There's an independent study version of it, which I will show you in a sec. Here's the three versions of it. There's a VIP version of it, and there's a live version of it. But the live version is actually held out in the States. So all of us lot in the UK, you would need a plane to get over there to actually be part of the live one. I always go for this VIP one. It's $397. So it's dollars, not pounds. It's not as expensive as it sounds. But basically with that, you get the whole program. You get some downloadable workbooks and action plans. You get an autographed first edition copy of Michael's new book. You get access to the VIP Facebook group for the entire year and get monthly coaching on that. You get a powerful goals playbook, the Never Stuck system, all these bonuses that if I go into the actual program, which is what here, I can show you. You'll see this bonus content tab up on the in the members area of the program. And you can see there's this thing called the Never Stuck system. So that's basically where if you do get stuck on your goals, how you can get out of that slump. Powerful goals playbook. This is templates for how you set goals. Stay on track system, literally for how you stay on track. Weekly achievement tracker, so you can check in with yourself every week. VIP Facebook group, and then a webinar replay. So those who are going on the webinar tonight, the replay of that, if you want to watch it again and retake in what you're going to learn on that, will be in the members area there as well. But it's just awesome, and you end up becoming part of the whole Best Year Ever community as well if you get that version of the VIP one, because you're part of the Facebook group there. But it's really really interesting. I just wanted to give you a bit of an insight. Limiting beliefs, they're interesting, aren't they? Those who did Bulletproof Actor, Unstoppable Confidence, Infinite Success, a program I run myself that'll be starting for the one and only time of 2018 in February. Go to bulletproofactor.com to find more about that. You'll know all about limiting beliefs. Literally, whether you believe you can or you can't. That's that old cliched saying, is the truth, isn't it? If you believe you can do something or you can't. If this girl had believed she couldn't create a short film, would never have done it. Believe she could, and now literally, like I say, is so close to being Oscar nominated, which will literally just turn her world and acting career completely upside down, and offers for lots of things will no doubt come flooding in. You can do that as well. Like, seriously, I've seen 2 people I know now do that. One get Oscar nominated, one potentially getting Oscar nominated, so close. It's just all about belief, setting goals, and just hitting them hard. And this program will absolutely help you to do that. Anyone got any questions about it before I let you guys go? Because I will let you go a bit earlier, because then you can actually go and get on this webinar with Michael if you want at 10 p.m. Absolutely brilliant tonight, Ross says. Dawn, well, thank you, Dawn. I just wanted to give a little bit of insight, because I know what it's like. You know, when I do a coaching program, Dawn, that you know you've been on. And there is a lot of cynicism around online coaching and personal development and personal growth. There's a lot of people, because there are a load of shysters out there, to be honest with you. That's why there is cynicism around this industry, and I get that completely. But Michael is just super legit, really, really top bloke, very legitimate, and has given me nothing but value over the last 5 years, even writing me a handwritten postcard last year because I was giving him some support for another project he was doing. And the guy does multi-million-dollar launches. He's super, super busy and runs a massive, massive company. Still took time out to write a handwritten postcard just to say thanks. It's a little old Ross over here in Manchester. Top bloke, though. Honestly, just really, really top bloke. So that's why I want to support him and push this for him, because it's had a big impact on my life and goals in general. If you don't, if you're like, look, definitely not for me or whatever, at least go and do the webinar. You're going to get some free training on that. Now, to get to the webinar, I don't have a slide for this, unfortunately. If you see the address on the bottom here, act.network/BYE2018, that's for the full course. If you just take the 2018 off the end of that address and type in BYE and then webinar 18, that's going to take you to a webinar registration page where you can actually register for tonight's webinar. It's 4 p.m. his time because he's in the States, which is 10 p.m. our time, which is in 18 minutes. I'll stay on if you want to do that in a different browser. But yeah, act.network/BYE webinar, and then the numbers 1 and 8. He gives away, it's like an hour of free training. Obviously, at the end of it, he's going to pitch his program because that's why he does it. But, you don't have to get it. But I would implore people to buy it. Like, genuinely. But there's a lot of people out there who can have limiting beliefs about, I can't afford this program. And people have that when they look at buying Bulletproof Actor and enrolling on that as well. And I'm like, it's such an investment in yourself. I promise you, I used to have these limiting beliefs, and it wasn't until it's almost this weird backwards kind of incongruent thing where actually you're never going to have spare cash to invest in your education until actually at one point you've just invested in your education. It's like the chicken and egg thing. You're going to go, I don't have a spare $200. You know what? Until you do something like this and really get clear on your goals, you're never going to have a spare $200. So it's almost like you've just got to basically bite the bullet, cut back on a couple of things that are luxuries or whatever, spend the $200, and then next year you're going to have an abundance. You're going to have at least $200 back. I reckon you can at least double your money with the tips. And well, it's not tips, with an entire goal-setting structure and program within this course. You're well going to be able to afford it next year if you buy it this year. It's weird, though. You've got to bite the bullet. I've done that with training before. There was a program once that taught me about online marketing. It's $3,000. I was like, God, like, I'm not like good at internet marketing yet. I don't have a spare $3,000. And I was like, it's not until actually, Ross, you buy this course and learn how to market on the internet. It's not until you do that you're ever going to have a spare $3,000. So I ended up just having to, and I wouldn't recommend getting into debt. I'm not saying that at all. I put it on a credit card, though. That's what I did. Put it on a credit card and went, you know what? I'm just going to pay this off very slowly on an interest-free credit card for 12 months. And that program that was $3,000 has paid me back over 20 times what it cost me because I invested in it and learned how to market through that. I always find money somewhere when I need to, says Dawn. Resourcefulness, isn't it? In a way, sometimes when we are comfortable, we become less resourceful. I found in my life, like when I had the least, I was probably the most resourceful. I was like, right, you know what? I've got some fear now. I really need to pull my finger out. And it's when you actually end up with, comfortable and you're like, I don't need to do that, that we can get complacent, and you've got to remind yourself all the time of what it was like to have nothing in order to be grateful for what you've got now. But it's one of those things, yeah, you've sometimes just got to do the thing you're using as an excuse to actually eradicate the excuse next time around. It's an interesting one. So go register for that webinar as well. So if you want to get the full course, acts.network/BYE2018. Or if you just want to go and register for the webinar now, and this still applies to those on the audio experience, for a couple of days he's still doing webinars, Michael. This whole thing finishes on the 19th of December, though. If you want to go to the webinar, go to acts.network/BYE webinar 18, and you can register tonight. You will use, I think he uses Zoom on the webinars, guys. That's what I use for a lot of my webinars for Bulletproof Actor. Most of you have probably already got it downloaded as an app on your phone. But when you register, it will talk you through how you actually join. It's a free app called Zoom. It's great for video calls and webinars. Get that on your phone, and that's how you'll actually be joining in. Any more? Before I let you go and do that, you've literally got 10 minutes. I'll give you. No, you haven't. What have you got? What is it? You've got 14 minutes to join that webinar. And if you do get the VIP one, look forward to seeing you in the Facebook group, because I'm a part of that now as well. And also, you know what? If you buy, anyone who buys through this link, this is a link that I can track. I've created it through Act on This. I'll know who's actually got the program through this link. I'll do a special training for all of us, like where we all just get on a group call and chat through our goals. If you get it through here, only this link, I'll be able to track it. So let me know if you have, and we'll sort something out in the new year when you've been through the program, where we'll all get on and we'll do like a little couple of hour training thing, and people can hold each other accountable and maybe find accountability buddies, etc., etc. That'd be pretty cool. But I love it. I get dead excited at this time of year. I'm like, this is it. Let's plan the next year so that we're able to smash it, and this program will definitely help you do that. Let's have a look. We see Mark here on Facebook. Just seeing who joined on Facebook. Mark's here, and Jason Broderick's here on Facebook. All right, fellas, good to see you. I'm going to start closing this down on Facebook. so I can let you guys go. Most of you probably just ran off already anyway. Like, I'm going anyway. I've got to get on this webinar. Sod you, Ross. But if you are hanging around while I end this, thank you very much. Thank you very much for being here. There we go. I can end that now. Awesome. So appreciate that, guys. Have a fantastic rest of your week. Let me know if you do get this. Tweet me at ActOnThisTV, at Ross A. Grant. The address one last time is act.network/BYE2018 if you want to find out more. And yeah, let's just set our goals and absolutely kill it. Let's make 2018 our best year ever. Pleasure, Fanny. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody who's joined us tonight. Go enjoy that webinar. Catch you very soon. Bye for now.